Alright guys, welcome back. It is a beautiful Sunday here. It's not too cold, not too warm. It's definitely not the typical winter that we had so far. So what's on my wrist today before we go into the video? I'm wearing a Tissot T-Touch and this is the first generation. So it is the smaller version. It's 40 millimeter. I picked up this thing for 30 bucks, believe it or not. And reason being is that the battery was dead. The guy didn't know if it was working or not, and it was pretty beat up. So I popped the battery in, and yeah, the actual sensor for the altimeter and the barometer and compass is just pooch, but everything else works. So I just wear it every once in a while because it's still a cool watch to wear. It's super comfortable for what it is because the newer ones are so big that unless you have a 7-inch wrist, newer models are just not for you. So what do we have here? We do have a Fortis Swiss watches since 1912, which is kind of funny because my granddad was born in 1912. God bless his soul today. So what's in the box? Well, before we dig into the box, let's have a little backstory on this. I know people don't like backstories, but I'll give you mine anyways. So last summer I walked into the watchmaker I go to whenever I need service or whatever, and I had a glycine automatic chronograph that I picked up, and I was just wondering how much it would give me for or what kind of trade-in would work. And he's like, well, glycine, unless somebody knows lysine, that thing might just sit on my shelf for 5 years or plus. So he gave me a fair offer for training, and I took it because I didn't pay that much anyways for the lysine. So he's like, what are you looking for? I'm like, well, show me what you got. So he's like, well, wait, I may have something in the back. So he went in the back, brought back like a crate full of watch boxes, and then I saw Fortis. And if you know my channel from the former channel that I shut down, I had two Fortis before, a Spacematic and a Flieger, both chronograph. And the Spacematic I destroyed trying to fix it myself, and the Flieger was just kind of a come and go type of thing. But I should have kept the Flieger, thinking about it. But anyways. I don't like trinium paint, so that's probably why I got rid of the Flieger. This is another automatic chronograph, and the only automatic chronograph in my collection because they are kind of expensive, right? So, is it a Rolex? No, it's not a Rolex. It's a Fortis. So, this model is special for various reasons. Let's start with some specification and size. So it is a 48.5 millimeter case and a 38 at the bezel. It is 47 lug to lug. It is only 13 millimeters thick. So this is kind of special, and I'll tell you why in a moment. It does have a 44 hour power reserve, and day, 30-minute counter, 12-hour counter, which I like because a lot of chronograph only have a whether 30 or 60-minute counter. And, I don't know. I did use it over 2 or 3 hours, but I don't use it that often, but it's kind of nice to have instead of just having a simple 30-minute counter. Screw down pushers and crown. It does have a very nice bracelet. So it's not your modern typical bracelet where everything is, it has to be a solid end links for a safety, security, because solid is better. They won't break, it won't bend. Well, I'll tell you that whenever you bend a hollow end link, you just bend it back. So that's the beauty of hollow end links. You can basically just shape them into place. So obviously it is the typical 7750 noise when you activate the chronograph. It's satisfying to say the very least. I love the day-date complication, and I love the fact that it's black and white leather. The contrast just makes it so legible. You have the Swiss made at the bottom. The actual bracelet, the links are actually screwed in, and it did came with an one extra link, so it would fit around a 7-inch wrist max, maybe bigger if you use the astronaut suit extension or the pilot suit extension. But trust me, wearing this with the extension is not that super comfortable if you wear it on the wrist. Over the sleeve, it's not that bad. But over the wrist, it isn't the most comfortable thing to do. It does have a nice mill clasp, just a fold over safety for micro adjust, which is a nice touch. So, what makes it special? Well, this watch in the 1990s became the official watch of the Russian space agency. So the Roscosmos, and it became the official watch of the space station Mir. So this is just an evolution of the first generation that was approved for the Russian Space Agency, because the one for that mission was a Lamania movement, so it was not a 7750 movement. And there was a subtle difference. The hands were different. Also, the paint was tritium paint instead of Luminova. So that's why I kind of like this one over the older version, because it's just a little bit more modern, but still has a very nice touch of old feel to it, classic look to it. So I mean, this is so beautiful. I mean, I love this thing so much. I really can see myself selling this in the near future. This is such a, to me, it's a statement watch because it tells, people that I love watches. I'm not necessarily ready to buy, let's say, a Rolex or Tudor, or and I probably will never own any of them watches. But to me, Fortis is just as important in the history of watchmaking. And you should actually do some research on the brand if you never did before, because it's definitely worth your time and it's pretty interesting too. So there it is. It is. Oh, I almost forgot. I did show it, but here we go. So the reference is 630.10.141. And there are different variants of dials in that reference, so it's kind of misleading sometimes, but it is the reference number for this specific model. So look it up. I mean, these are beginning to be increasingly hard to find in okay condition. This one is definitely been worn. I did a little bump here. It's kind of hard to capture, but you can see there's a little flat spot on this lug here. The crystal is also really worn out. The anti-reflective on it is scratched a lot, but look how clear the crystal still is when you look at it, right, in different setup of light. So that's the beauty of Fortis, is being able to offer a product like that at a very competitive price. And by competitive, I mean, yeah, the new Nanavat is really over there with price, but I mean, it's with today's market, right? To find a pristine one like this, you're likely looking to pay 25 to anywhere to $4,500, depending on if it's full kit or what kind of edition it is. Could be a special limited edition. So these are really still kind of expensive if you find one in good condition. So I didn't pay nearly as much for mine, and I highly doubt I would have, but I got lucky again. So like I said, I consider myself really lucky to be able to follow this hobby. to meet incredible people and to have people commenting and subscribing to the channel, whether it's positive or negative comment. I mean, all comments count. So, whether you talk about me in good or in bad, it doesn't matter. It does just help the channel. So, if you want to comment, like, and share this video, I encourage you to do so. And I'll see you all in the next one.